Okay, we're live. Rock and roll. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Dude, I'm so good. I'm so good. How you doing, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was ranting a little bit offline, but I had a killer week. I'm excited, and it's all good.
Nice,
Mhm.
nice. What what made your week so killer? But how well, whatever, man. We haven't talked since like New Year's or like Christmas. Like how'd the holidays go? Quick wrap up there.
Yeah, holidays
Good.
are good.
Izzy's first Christmas.
Oh man, the thing is like being like I'm 39, so when you have a child in your later 30s, all of your friends have had kids before you. So there's this like
Hmm.
cache of really amazing clothes for babies. So she had 12 different Christmas outfits that well, she had more. I swear she had more. So like every day she was just rocking this new like epic Christmas gear, like My First Christmas and like little My First Christmas bibs and like ridiculous little kids hats. And I think that one of the cool things about having a child is just like dressing them up and making them look ridiculous. So she like that was an epic part of Christmas for sure, hands down. That was good. Yeah, all in all, Christmas was good. And then new like rolling into New Year's as a new dad, it's like you'd never get sleep anyway. And like we were in bed by 12, 15. I think you had like a good New Year's though, didn't you? Like you're a bachelor, so you're doing good.
Me? I actually was hanging out with kids on New
No
Year's.
way. There you go.
Yeah, no, I think last time I talked to you, I had just met Lauren and we were just kind of hanging out. And now, like, me and Lauren are dating, and like, she's got two little girls, like, they're like 7 and 3. They're the same age
Ooh.
as my nieces.
Yeah.
Just hung out with them on New Year's and like watched a movie and like tricked them that it was midnight when it was actually only 9 o'clock because we were watching the ball drop in New York, which
Yeah.
was eerie.
It
Like,
was eerie.
watching
I
that
watched it a
whole
bit.
super weird. So
Yeah.
no, it was super fun, man. Like doing that stuff now and like watching kids get all stoked for these like neat things. It's
Hmm.
like it's so funny. And for them, they had like all their relatives from the States and stuff send them presents, but all got held up on the mail. So
Yeah.
literally all these presents just came in and they have a whole another batch of presents under the tree. So they're doing another Christmas this Saturday. So it's Christmas Eve for them again right now. So that
Yeah.
was kind of cool too.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
yeah, man, no, it's so much fun having kid like not having kids, but like hanging out with them because Lauren just bought them like a little snowboard and a little set of skis. So we went out
Yeah.
like doing stuff with them, and it's like it's fun, man. Kids are stoked on everything, like
Everything.
everything.
Everything's new, so it's exciting times. So okay, so
Yeah.
your Christmas, your New Year's was good. My Christmas, New Year's is good, and then we pretty much we what are we there? We're the 8th today, so we're already
Hmm.
a good week into the new year. So how's the
Hmm.
new year treating you?
New Year's good.
Besides your
Full
Bitcoin,
on
which I want to strangle you about, but anyway.
Bitcoin, man. Honestly, people, I don't even buy some bit. Scott, buy some Bitcoin. Buy some
You
of
know
this
my
stuff.
story. I had two
It's
coins. I lost the coins. They'd be worth like 70K right now. All I'm dealing with is regret. You know, that's like one of the biggest things for humans is getting past the is loss aversion, right? It's like one of the
mm,
hardest things that we can get past. And it's like I've had this huge loss. It's like, okay, how are you gonna like get back from that? And you gotta step up and reinvest back into it. I'm like, I'll tell you right now, I'm not quite there yet. Not there yet. I'm
dude.
still
You should.
I'm still in the grieving phase of that stupid Quadrex.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and it's like where it's at right now, and like where it's going, and start looking at like media and stuff and what people are saying. It's just like it's the craziest time to be alive right now, and like what's happening with our financial institutions and everything is just like unbelievably awesome. Like, so here's a story today. I'm like trying to get money from my bank to put and buy more Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that. And they like have these limits set up where like
Yeah.
they won't give me money. And they're actually like stopping money from going to like crypto wallets and stuff like that, right? So like these
Oh
financial
yeah.
institutions are like, nope, nope, nope. So what do? I go down to the bank. I'm like, hi. She's like, hi. I'm like, can you up my limit? She's like, no. I'm like, can I take all my money out of my bank account, please? She's like, really? I'm like, yep. So she gave me all the money, and then I went to a Bitcoin machine and I stuck it all in there. And I'm like, there we go. Now, and the
Interesting.
crazy thing is like now, like, so my brother is big on this too, and him and me are doing it two different ways, him and I. But he's got a cold wallet, right? So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go get one of those cold wallets,
Yeah,
and
you
then this
need
is the
you
thing:
need
you
the you
take
need
it,
it.
put it on there, and now the crazy thing is like you're in charge of your money, you're in charge of your finances, and all this stuff is like, dude, there's so many hackers out there right now. Like this
I
one
know, but it's like, okay, so let me do the counter argument, right? Because like from the guy that got burned from it, and like I totally believe in the system, and I also believe that there's going to be a little bit of a switch here because the whole system's levered so high, and this is like going off the Friday wrap up for sure. But somewhere it's got to pop, obviously, and like back in the day, people would hedge with gold, and like people are obviously hedging with cryptocurrency, so understand that.
yeah,
But there's like still some level of risk in of using it because it is kind of backstopped by nothing, to be honest with you. And like my experience is like a prime example, right? It's like you buy the two bitcoins, the whole exchange goes down. Those were like my coins that could never be lost or whatever. They get lost with the exchange, right? So that's why you want to put it onto your hard currency wallet. But it's not perfect. Like I just want to put that out there for people so they know it's like it is not perfect. It's not a perfect system. There's a reason why it's like going up so quickly. It's a high risk, high return play. That's all it is.
yeah,
It's like a high risk, high return
totally.
play. And
It's well,
sometimes you get hit.
and like for sure. I mean, like I'm stoked about it. I'm doing it my own way. The thing is, like, exactly. It's if I'm not telling anyone to go out and like empty their bank accounts or remortgage their house, but I always go back to
No,
this,
that's
Scott.
not what this channel can possibly be about. This channel can't be financial advice.
This isn't financial advice. This I like what we should have done is had our topic on like risk to reward ratio or something. Like
That's what
how
we'll
do
do next
you
week. We should do risk to reward, or you want to just do it right now?
yeah, no, let's do it right now. Let's talk about
Yeah.
risk and how to like assess risk and like so my risk, what I'm doing is whenever I do anything, I think about all the money I pissed away in my past, whether
Yeah.
it be at the bar, whether it be on like 10 Oakley sunglasses, whether it be on new snowboard gear every single year. Like the thing is I'm wearing the same snowboard gear that I had like 6 years ago and the same snowboard and stuff, where before I used to buy a new one every single year and things like that. I
Yeah.
used to eat out every single meal, every single day. I used to drink tons of booze. So I used to spend $50,000 a year eating out and drinking out. That was my budget for eating out and drinking out. So right now, I have this money sitting in my bank account because I worked a little while ago. And
Yeah.
now I'm going to invest some of it in this cryptocurrency, which has the potential of giving me money, where eating out and drinking and buying new snowboard gear and all this stuff didn't. Now I'm still doing that stuff, but I'm just reallocating my money a little bit like that. Risk to
That's
reward.
yeah, for sure. As long as
Mm,
it's like diversified a little bit. Like that was I mean that was
mhm.
my play. It's like okay, so I put some in crypto and like you put some in silver, you put some in like precious metals and you have some in the regular stock market and like then at least you're diversified. And like I'm just choked because I made the right play and I just used the wrong exchange. That's what burns me so
Mm.
bad. But anyway, what are you gonna do? So yeah, but the I mean to get more into risk reward, it's like that's you just want to like that's Ray Dalio's thing. He's like you just have to have the all weather fund, right? You want to be diversified well, and that's the way to
Mhm.
play. I think I
So,
like
how do you
he's
do? Sorry, how are you going to like teach this to like say like your daughter, like not as with money, but as in like life? Like for an example, for me, I won't go cross country skiing, but I'll go hiking in the mountains by myself and go snowboarding. Now, people that hear that might be like, "You're crazy." But here's the reason: the chances of me hurting myself cross country skiing are about 90% higher than me going and safely going to the backcountry and following this cat track and then slowly connecting the dots and like assessing the avalanche terrain, doing all these things that I do, when somebody else would probably die doing what I did.
yeah
But cross country skiing, I'm going to go down some stupid hill. I don't ski. These stupid bindings are all over the place. I'm probably going to break my ankle. And then there goes
yeah
my whole season.
yeah
So risk to reward is a very like personal thing. Just because I think something isn't safe doesn't mean that you think the same thing, right?
yeah
So how do you assess your personal, you personally, I want to know, how do you assess in your activities you do, like whether you're investing money, like is there kind of like something that you use to sum that up?
Yeah, like I'm actually pretty calculated about that stuff, you know? Like to going like the backcountry is a really good example because that is a very high risk place to be. And
Hmm.
there's deaths back there every single year. And when you look at it as a
Hmm.
percentage, like a ratio per capita, how many people bite the dust that go in the backcountry, it's actually pretty high because there's not that many people going into the backcountry, right? So say
Hmm.
you have a pool of say 150,000 people going every single year, and of that, 6 people die every year. It's actually a high number
Hmm.
relative to like a lot of people die driving, but the amount of people that are driving, just percentage wise, it's higher risk to go in the backcountry. So I think that the way that I look at it is to like reduce that risk. You, regardless of what you're doing, you just need to be educated. Like if you have an AST course, like an avalanche safety course, that reduces your risk in the backcountry substantially. And then if you have the right gear when you're back there, that's reducing your risk again, and then it's reducing your risk again, and it's reducing your risk again. And you just kind of layer on top of those things like risk reduction, because you still also want the reward. Like I want to go back there, I want to get the good powder, I want to do like the high risk investments so that you can get the high returns. But the way that you can reduce that risk is by educating yourself, regardless of what space you're in, right? So if you're trying
Hmm.
to invest into a small business, like which is what I do, then it's you want to make sure that you know how to operate all the key component parts of the small business, and you want to know understand marketing, and you want to understand how to manage staff and how to motivate people and that kind of thing. So and that by knowing those things, it's going to reduce the risk in that particular asset that you're investing into. And it's no different than investing into real estate. If you know the local market, you're much better prepared to do well in that market. Whereas if you don't know it, then you probably shouldn't be investing into it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I love that. Sum it up pretty much for education.
Yeah,
Educate yourself on whatever you're doing. And the nice thing about that too is that then you're taking ownership for that risk.
yeah,
Like say in our like backcountry scenario, if I didn't have an avalanche course and I went with 5 people that were ski patrol guides and they were all professionals at it, and then we all went back there, and then I got hurt, I might be more liable to like blame them because they were supposed to be the professionals.
yeah,
But saying me, I go get educated, I make my own decision, and I go out there, and then I get hurt, then like that onus is on me. And a lot of people, I think, in these times too, especially for this whole crazy crypto age, people are just throwing stuff out there,
yeah.
and they're going to be looking to blame somebody else because this person told me that or that person told me that. Where if you go out and get educated yourself and then you take that risk, then it's kind of like up to you. So I wonder if some
Well,
people
I'm trying to
don't get
think.
educated for that
Ivan
reason.
Decker. Ivan Decker. That was the name of the guy that I took his course before I invested in crypto. And like
Mm,
he honestly had a really good course. It was super in depth. It was awesome. And so I would recommend it. Plus he's also a really like cool character. And he told me exactly what to do to protect myself, and I didn't get stuff transferred over to the hard wallet in time. So that's my fault. I take full responsibility
mm,
for it. That's another thing. I like the 100% accountability. Like if you know everything going into it and it tanks or like you mess it up, then it's your fault. There's no one to blame but you. That's I
yeah.
kind of like that actually.
I do, and that's kind of like what I said. I'm like, is that why people don't do it? So they just have somebody else to blame?
Maybe.
Like, freaking
Yeah,
psychology is kind of weird sometimes, but
it
I
is.
like I like the fact of taking the accountability for yourself, because then it's like you screwed up, you knew the risks, you're
You knew
freaking
the
doing it.
risks.
Uh,
Yeah.
totally, and like that, I'd like to. Have you seen that? Like with with is like I can see you guys are the type of parents that might. Oh, I just got to reset my camera here, but do you let her find out her own kind of like obviously you're not going to let her touch something like really hot, but like do you kind of let her explore a little bit and like find out what's going on in the world, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'll just talk to myself a little bit. We can hear your voice. Oh, you're back. Nice.
Yeah, I'm here.
Um. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be one of those parents, or I already am one of those parents where they're like your kid's gonna fall a lot more, and you're gonna kind of be okay with it. There you go. Oh no, you're still out of focus a little bit. Would you knock your webcam out of the computer?
No,
No.
it's like a external cam.
Yeah, for sure. No. I'm gonna, yeah, they're gonna learn the hard way, I suppose, right? I'm gonna give them the boundaries. I'm gonna give her the
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, and then they'll like bounce off it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that we learn the
So,
best by our own mistakes.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's just lately, like when people are like, "That's risky" or "This is risky," it just made me think about like how it's just such a personal thing, man. It's like,
It's just
yeah,
personal. That's the
just
vast majority of people want to keep things comfortable and easy, and then I understand that. Like security is a big thing for most folks, and
mm,
there's nothing wrong with that. It's good. But some people want to push out more. That's fine. I mean, teach your own. That's the beauty of it. That's what makes life exciting.
totally,
And it's also the reason
totally.
why the backcountry is pretty darn empty. And if you have a sled out west, you can get heli runs for pretty much free because a lot of people don't want to do that on their own. So I got no problems with that either. Although the
No,
only problem I
no.
have is I'm in Ontario right now and we're pretty shy of mountains here.
Yeah, I bet. I
There's
bet.
one thing
So like,
missing. Yeah.
so for me, I'm super lucky because like the ski hill that's by us, Whitewater, they do like cross country ski trails. Like the cross country ski trails go like through some pretty awesome terrain. So
Yeah.
like when I go by myself, I'm not going into like crazy terrain, but I go like up the cross country ski trail to like the top of the cat track, and I just go high enough to like the next ridge where I can see it, and I'm just literally connecting the cat track and coming down, and it's like
Yeah.
a 20 like 25-30 minute walk to the top, a quick ride down. It's just a good way to get some exercise. It's
Yeah.
free once you have the equipment, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's safe because it's literally like the ski hill there. There's so many people back there that are
Nice.
doing it. And like to me, it's just safe, it's fun, it's wicked. I'm going out there. When I go back there and when people come with me though, it's like I make sure to like educate them on why I do this. Because the same
Yeah.
thing in the summer when I go mountain biking by myself, people are like, "You can't do that." I'm like, hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what I did last night was I looked up the Suron again. I can't stop looking at that electric bike. Like it is in my life for sure. It is happening. And they just came
nice.
out with one it's got like a turbo boost on it. So they like juiced the battery so it has even more power. Like, oh, these electric bikes are getting bonkers. Like I don't know, whatever reason it's getting me excited. I'm not a huge mountain biker, but you put a little bit of an electric motor on it and all of a sudden that becomes exciting to me.
Dude,
Yeah,
um, this summer, is it going to be this spring? Is it going to be your present for coming back to BC?
no question. Like I had a pretty epic week this week and it is looking like the Suron is in the sights for sure right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Talk about your epic week, bro.
Yeah, it's funny, like things go in ebbs and flows as entrepreneurs, right? But the big thing that I was working on that we talked about even before the break is I'm putting together this exit plan summit, right? For those individuals, like business owners that are at the point in their career where they're thinking about selling their company or maybe they're selling it in like 3 to 5 years. So I'm putting this event together and we just launched the website for it on what day is Friday? It's Friday wrap up, right? So we launched it on Monday, like kind of testing Facebook ads along the week. And we've been just like tweaking, and the site's now got to the point where it is cash flow positive, and so whatever dollars you're putting in for the ads, it's like pumping it out from the sales, and so that is an exciting moment when you hit that, because what that means is now you can actually start really impacting a lot of people because you can just like start charging and getting the message out to as many people as you possibly can. So anyway, if we have, I know we got a few people watching right now. If they're business owners, exitplansummit.com. That's the site. I should almost just like put it up under here. But anyway, that's what it is. So that started trending pretty good, which is amazing. And then one of the realtors that I work with out in Revelstoke, had a commercial building that we've been trying to sell for a year and a half, and that sold this week. So that's kind of like the Suron cash, and signed up a few more clients to sell their business. So that is also really good. So things are, this week was a quite a good week. But I think that's kind of normal in my industry because when the new year hits, it triggers and people think, maybe I should think about what I'm doing with my company. And that's well, it's a pivotal point for all of us, right? It's like we're gonna start getting more healthy. We're gonna, do whatever the next challenge is. And now it's like people think about what they're doing with their companies, so you get a little bit more of that shift. Think about people thinking about selling. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome, man. Which
yeah.
that summit's coming up right away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the end of this month. So we're using the whole month of January to market it. It's January 28th, 29th, 30th, but this whole month we're
Yeah.
marketing it. And like as you know, because I've talked to you about it, I'm newer to the world of Facebook advertising for sure. So we're just figuring that machine out. Definitely with the help of Russell Brunson and the like two Comma Club X, that group. I'm give them a holler and a shout out for sure because they've been massive and instrumental in like getting this whole machine to work. But yeah, so anyway, we tweaked it, and today was my LinkedIn day to figure out LinkedIn advertising, and then that will be tweaking as well as we get forward into next week, and then we'll like put the hammer down on it once she's rocking and rolling because like the message that I want to get out to help entrepreneurs is it's a good one and it needs to be heard for people to set their companies up to make sure they're sellable, and we want to get that message to as many people as we can. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm pretty excited for this summit actually. It's
Yeah, it's killer.
it's been
Like
amazing.
the people that are on it is mind-boggling. Like it, and as I wasn't planning to talk about this on the our weekly wrap up, but they represent like over 7,000 buyers that actively buy companies, and then I have people speaking at it that own the largest organizations of buy sell organizations in the world, like the world. And we have people from Australia speaking, the United Kingdom are there. We got from India, and it's like and Canada, of course, and the United States, definitely. But like all over the world, we have speakers coming in from and in that space. So, for those people that are thinking about figuring out how to sell their business, there's nothing better right now. So I'm pretty pumped about it. And it's been 3 months of serious effort, and a
Yeah.
lot of like smashing my head against the wall, learning tech and things like that.
But I mean, it sounds like it's going to be so worth it, man. Like,
Oh, no question. It already is. Like it already is. And like we've had like 150 people signed up for it already, and it's like day two of advertising of a full month. So
jeez,
yeah, it's good.
that's impressive, man.
Yeah, like my goal is to get 3,000 entrepreneurs so we can impact that many people, and I think we'll probably hit
Mhm.
it. I'm pretty confident we'll hit that number. So
And you
mhm.
said this, are you charging for this?
Free.
It's free.
It's
It's
free.
absolutely free. It's free. I mean, Scott could be
Well,
charging $2 a ticket and people would still be buying it, but it's free.
yeah, it's free. Like there's obviously like it's completely free to go to. And then there's like an upsell element to it, of course, because there's like a
Hmm.
VIP zone if you want to like network with people that are actually buying companies actively. But
Hmm.
that's still inexpensive too. It's like $67. But the whole thing
Yeah.
is it's not designed like these things aren't designed to make money. They're designed to like get the message out there and cover the cost of the marketing. Like that's really the whole
Hmm.
purpose of it, right? Like you can't just like
Right.
endlessly dump money into marketing and not have something that's going to cover the cost of it. Because if you can have something that covers the cost of it, then all day long you can get the message out. So,
Mm.
mhm.
Neat.
Yeah, sweet.
Excited
Anyway,
for
so
you,
that's
man.
too
That's
much about
good.
me, and we're already 23 minutes in. What's how's your stuff? How's your stuff? How's the coaching?
Coaching is good. I just had so on Wednesdays we have like the big class that's kind of like 26 of us. And I started a class on Fridays that like we kind of get a smaller group of us together
Yeah,
and we're going over things. And now today was actually interesting because it was like a lot of business talk because I mean, even I'll go back to this story. I went met a counselor in the backcountry the other day. She'd like got her master's and stuff, and then we
yes.
were talking, and she's like, "The one thing they don't teach us in school, is how to build a business, right?"
Oh,
And like, it's the biggest thing. Like what you're doing right now, and like what I'm doing, and I'm taking like a business launch course starting on the 15th. Um, and it's like this is it, man. This is the industry. All of
mhm.
us can all sell ourselves and we can all use social media and stuff to do it. And
Yeah,
it's like, um, it's pretty fun. So today there was a bunch of us all talking about like business because in the coaching realm, it's like everybody comes from all these different industries, right? So you have all these different strengths of people. Like we have like accountants and we have like lawyers and then we have, all these different mindsets. Um, and so it's super fun. So that's what we've been doing. But I'm super excited about like facilitating this group. I'm finding
yeah,
that that's what I'm really enjoying doing a lot. Um, I can see with the whole like Facebook dynamic is I want to find people that are very passionate about what they're doing. And that's kind of like how this started with you, just wanting to talk to somebody that's passionate and excited about what they're doing and like following their journey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to like have more of that and use that like Facebook platform to do that and have these talks with people. And I have a great time doing it. I love sitting there and like trying to figure out how to ask the questions and like, as I keep doing it, it's like
Mm.
more and more questions come up and like which ones are good, which ones work, which ones lead me in this direction or that direction. So
You know
I'm having
what,
a good
like,
time.
so Eve, my wife, she's an organizational psychologist, and she follows this guy Lex Sisney and uses his program, which is it's a personality assessment that is where it all starts with him, with Lex Sisney, but it's based around work. It's like more of a it's less of it's more designed for teams that work together. But one of the personality types is called the unifier. I think that's what you might be. I think you're a unifier. I think you're a
I'll have
unifier.
to he must have a thing where you can tell what you are, right?
Oh, no
Like a
question. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
test.
100%. Yeah.
What's his name? Lex Isney?
Lex Sisney. It's
Sisney.
Sisnui. Sisney. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I'll
his
check
is
it out.
like
I love
his is like the best personality test that he's found as far as like workplace personalities. But
mhm.
I find that interesting because if you're a unifier, that must have been brutal, brutal, brutal working up north. You know, like it must have been extra brutal working
I
out
can't I
north.
can't wait to hear what give me the Coles notes on what a unifier is. Bringing
Yeah,
people together.
so I mean the cool notes is there's I mean I don't know all four, like E would be better for all four. But you basically have innovators. Maybe I will be able to remember all four, but you have innovators and they're kind of the ones that like start the company and get things going. And then you have producers and they're the ones that like really once it's going, they like keep the machine going. Then you have stabilizers and stabilizers are kind of like your accountants and they're just making sure that the machine runs. And then you have unifiers. And unifiers aren't really of value in an organization until it gets to a size. No, sorry, not to say there's not a value, but it's like the innovator starts, then it goes to the producer, and then you need a stabilizer, and then the last person in the team is a unifier. And like so, as companies scale, they don't really realize that they're missing this key element because they haven't needed it when they had like teams of 3 or 4 or 5. But kind of once they get up to 10 or even 15, if they don't have a unifier, everything collapses because all these different personality types, they all have their own little directions that they're going, and the innovator wants to keep innovating, and the producer wants to produce the old stuff, but the innovator wants them to produce the new stuff, and the stabilizer's like, hey, stop, we just need to like make sure the books are in order, and like it all just like collapses unless you bring the unifier, and the unifier goes, hey guys, we can all work together. And they just basically
Nice.
calm the whole scenario down. And when companies get to a certain scale and they don't have a unifier, they literally collapse. But the unifier, like all the stuff you were saying, is what the unifier likes. It's like listening and like figuring out what other people's desires are and like matching the right people together and that kind of thing. So
Almost like project manager would be unifier.
yeah, so like Eve was a really good project manager because she used to run events as a project manager, and then she really like figured out that she likes working directly with people, and like much like yourself, and then that's what guided her down the path to this organizational psychology. But it was only till later that she realized she was a unifier. Till there was a term
That's
for it.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I never heard of any of that before. But that's the thing is the more you research, the more you talk to people, then there's
mm,
these little tests and you kind of figure it out and they all kind of go in like the same direction. But
yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's awesome. It's really neat as like I'm going on with this course and stuff. It was funny because there was a part of me like, so when I quit my millwright job in July or whatever, I kind of checked out way before then in April. But
yeah,
I kind of last week I had this thing. I'm like, am I just kind of like jumping from one thing to the next? And then I kind of looked back at like my road I've traveled down, and it's like, I think I'm just like getting onto one thing, grasping it, and then all of a sudden I'm using that and the knowledge base from there, and then moving to the next thing and the next thing.
yeah,
Because like the path is like very consistent, to like the skills that I've been learning since April are all transferable and have all led me to where I am right now.
yeah.
So it's fighting with that like that sometimes you have doubts about what you're doing and it's like
No
is
question.
this what I should be doing,
Yeah,
so it was nice to stop and think and go back and be like no, this is right, because it's like I had to go from that place and learn this skill to go to the next place, and like it's it's pretty fun. I'm loving it. I definitely on the sine wave where it's ups and downs, ebbs and flows, but most of it's really good, and I'm having a good time. So that's the most important thing.
Boom. It's always weird
Which
when like you have half screen, because when you have full screen, you're used to like just doing this. Anyway, I haven't done a YouTube video in a while because I've been so caught up with this summit, but I got to get back into my YouTube train. Anyhow.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. This weekend is my consistency. I'm really getting on the. I'm going to start an Instagram page for my coaching, and it's going to be focused on that. And I'm just getting like a lot of material together and getting that. The biggest thing I found is the consistency.
Yeah.
Dude, making a plan and just consistently putting things out, and then that's when I feel like the most fulfilled, and that's when I feel like I've really, when at the end of your week you're like, I killed that week.
Totally.
It's like that really does it for me when I've been consistent and I've kind of like stuck to my plan. So
yeah,
that's what this weekend is for me, is kind of big plan weekend. I want to plan out the rest of this month, and because there's so many tools that you can plan out everything in advance and then just hit the button, start, and then away it goes, especially for social media stuff. So
maybe that's what we should do next week. We can talk about our plan, our yearly plan. That's what we need to do. That's what we'll do next week. Next week we'll commit to kind of just chatting on our yearly plan, because then if we put it into the ether, then it becomes public knowledge and we can hold ourselves even that much more accountable.
Our yearly plan, I'm gonna write it. I got this new planner here. It's mint. It's the Brendan Bouchard.
Oh planner. Yeah. Eve's got his book. I've read his book too. Yeah.
It's pretty dope. It's a high performance planner. It's a really nice book to write in all the time. So now when things like this come up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write it in next Friday. So when I flip to it, I'll be like, oh yeah, we're talking about our yearly plan. This is 2:15.
This is what I got for Christmas. Was Eve made me a custom daily journal.
Oh wow, that's nice.
I know, legend.
Legend,
like she's legend.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet buddy. Well, let's we'll wrap her up. That was a big one. That's our longest live ever. That was 32 minutes. We chatted about who knows. I guess we covered Bitcoin. We covered risk assessment. We covered personality type, Lex Disney model, and just general wrap up. That was a pretty good session.
Yeah, man. And next week we're gonna do our yearly plan.
I think so. Okay, cool.
Just fit that in a half-hour box. Let's see how we can do that.
Easy. All right, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Okay, man. See you guys.